Hi guys, Carla Jean here. Thank you so much for tuning in to watch again. I know it's been a little while since I've posted, so thank you so much for your patience and for checking back in. I did a little poll recently on my Instagram account, which if you're not following, I'll try and get it to pop up on the screen over here, maybe. As you can see by the look here, you guys voted for a natural look. So this is what I came up with. Stay tuned, follow along, and I hope you like it. This is annoying. I got this far and realized that I had in the wrong memory card, so it stopped recording well before I got to this point. Let's start over. Kinda hurts to be wasting good makeup like this. Alright, so let's try this again. I'm gonna put my hair back this time. This is real cute. Oh, I saw this going much better in my head. So I've already moisturized again. And done my whole skincare routine. Next I'm just going to go in with a primer. I'm just using this Mary Kay primer today. It has an SPF of 15. Squeeze a little bit on my finger and then just little dollops all over my face and then rub them in. Beautiful. I'm going to go in with a color corrector, so whoop, wrong side. This is the Makeup Forever Step 1. I really like this product. I like the consistency of it. It's pretty liquidy, it's not heavy at all, it's not thick, and it just kind of melts right in. This one has been a bear lately. I don't know where it came from. That's a lie. It's that time of the month where your skin just likes to freak out on you. I'm gonna use my MAC Fix Plus and just spray that on. Guys, I love this stuff. I use it all the time. Look at how much I've used, and I haven't even had it that long. Definitely gonna buy another one. Definitely gonna buy it in the travel size now that I'm traveling a lot more for work. Now that we have that on, I feel like it's not quite dry yet. Now that we have that on, let's go in with foundation. Of course, I always go in with my duo here, foundation, and then this little like color elixir thing. My skin is pretty oily, so I tend to use a lot of mattifying products, but I still want my skin to look normal without the really dewy finish. I can't do dewy. I'm oily. I get enough dew. I don't need to add any others. But this just brings back that normal kind of like skin sheen that you see on your face without any makeup. Really long explanation. I just like this stuff. This I did not mention. This is the Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation. I am using shade Desert Beige in 2 and 1. Then I'm just going to go in with a damp sponge here. This is the Real Techniques one. Much cheaper than Beauty Blender. I find that they work really well. Some other off-brands I have tried do not work very well at all. Just make sure that you make it nice and damp before you use it. I'm going to mix those two things on the back of my hand here, and I'm going to pat it into my skin. Alright, now that we have our foundation set in place, I'm going to go back in with my trusty concealer, the one I always use, the Nars Radiant Creamy Concealer. I use shade Light 2.5 Creme Brulee. Just gonna highlight the high points of my face, so the center. I always put it into my smile lines and just kind of like around my nose a little bit. Now that we have our War Paint one, let's blend it in. Just going back in with that sponge again. And just in like a stippling motion, you just want to melt that product together. Now that I've blended majority of that in, I just like to go back in and do some like detail blending with a smaller brush. This is by Makeup Forever. This is 236, brush 236. Just like to go in around my eyes and my nose again, just to make sure that it's blended really seamlessly. I don't like to go in there with something so big. Now that we've got that in place, we want to make sure that we set this so that it doesn't move. Just going in with a translucent setting powder. I always use my trusted Mercier. I set my under eyes and then my T-zone area, where I tend to get the most oily. Now that I have my base set, I want to go back in and add some warmth and more dimension to my face with a little bit of contouring. Just using a bronzing shade with the Hoola Bronzer. Excuse my nails, haven't gotten them done yet. Now I'm just going to take a fluffy angled brush. This one, I believe it's Mary Kay. I don't know for sure. Don't know where that accent came from. I'm just going to go in around my forehead. Again, you want to take it into those baby hairs. Just make it melt away. And I do go the whole way across my forehead. I just like to make it look a little bit smaller. Take this light little angled brush. This is by Sigma. It's the F66. Going back in with that same shade. I just did a nice straight line down the side of my nose, and now I'm just gonna buff that in. I am gonna come back with that fluffy brush and just go under my jawline and then down on my neck. Maybe this was a better idea to put the earrings on after. Bronzing is complete. Now I want to set everything in place again. So I'm gonna go back to my trusty Fix Plus spray and spray it all again. Seriously, this smells so good. Gonna wait for that to get a little tacky. Don't know what that motion was. I'm gonna come back in with my sponge here and just pat down, only in downward motions, all over my whole face. And this is just going to help set, again, everything in place. So we all have the peach fuzz or the baby hairs all over our face. Sometimes that can really hold on to product and make it look like you're wearing a lot more than you are. So all I was doing with those two steps there, spraying and then patting it down, is taking those baby hairs and pushing them flat against the skin so that they're not hanging out there holding on to product. It's going to give you that nice, like, in-person, like, airbrushed effect without actually using an airbrush. Let's start adding some more color. The next step I like to do is by adding some blush. I couldn't decide, so I'm going to use two. I'm going to start first with this Marc Jacobs blush. This is Flesh and Fantasy. It's hard to read upside down, but that lighter shade has a little bit of like an iridescent color to it, but it's not too much. The second color that I'm using is a Bobbi Brown color. I know it's dirty, it's old, in Tawny. So just a nice, you know, little like deeper tawny color. Appropriately named. No, that'll just give me a little bit more color to my cheeks than the Marc Jacobs. We're going to go back in with a fluffy brush. This one is by Tarte. Starting again with the Marc Jacobs. Now let's go in with that Bobbi Brown, just a little bit darker. I'm going to focus this color more on the outer parts of my cheeks. There are those two mixed together. I kind of like that effect. I've been doing that a lot lately. Now that we have that in place, let's go in with our highlight, my favorite part. So this MAC highlighter here, this is Extra Dimension Skinfinish in Studio Gold. It's really pretty. It looks gold when you look at it, but it breaks pink on the skin. I love pink, as you can tell. And then just putting it on the high points of my cheeks. Like, look at that. Yes. And I'm going to take that up on my brow bone as well. A nice little C curve. And then I like to do the bridge of my nose. And then just a dot on the end. That does a little something. Going to be using the MAC in the Flesh palette here. Nice. Cool palette. Just going to start with a nice fluffy brush. I always think it's very important to start with your transition colors in the crease. And that's really going to be where the main color focus is for this look. Just this shade here. It has a little bit of like a purplish brown tinge to it. So this is just a MAC 224 brush. And then with that, I'm just going to put that in my crease. I'm actually going to keep it a little bit lighter on the outside and then make it thicker, lighter as in thinner, and then thicker as I get underneath my brow. It's going to take a little bit of a denser brush, still fluffy, but not quite as soft as this MAC one. This is Japonesque in 836. Same color. I'm going to go back in and just brush over my entire lid with this lighter color here. It's not a pure white or an off-white, it's like a nice light beige color. Matte, there's no shimmer in it. And I'm just gonna brush that over my lid. So using that same brush again, I just dusted it off on the back of my hand. I'm gonna go in for a little bit of shimmer actually. So going in with this shade on the inner corner, right underneath where I had put that purplish transition. Same brush. And just bring that about like halfway out through my eye. This light shimmer shade on the inner corners of my eye. It really makes it pop. It just pops. I forget who that is on YouTube, but it's so funny. I'll put the link down in the box below. I always like to bring a little bit of color underneath my eye. I'm going to use this nice soft brown color. And I'm just going to come under the eyes, under that bottom lash line. This is just going to make your eyes look a little bit bigger. I just filled in my brows off camera. I'll put everything that I used down in the comment box below if you want to see some more information on that. I'm just going to use a nice fine tipped eyeliner brush here. I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing off camera for the other eye. This is the Tarte Maneater mascara. I am going to apply some falsies for this look. I will put one coat of mascara on before I use the false lashes, and then I'll put another coat on just to kind of like mesh them together. And then I'm going to put some on the bottom lash line as well. This is my favorite YSL lipstick. It's beautiful. It is in the color 44. This is the final look. I like the little bit of pink on my lips, just a natural flesh colored pink. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked what you saw here today, go ahead and share the love by giving me that thumbs up. I love you guys just as much for watching. And also hit that subscribe button so that you can stay on top of all of the videos that I post and not miss a single one. I love you for watching, and I'll see you soon.